Hello, all. Don Weatherwax Sports Nutrition to Go, Don Weatherwax's Sports Nutrition Academy and Food for Speed podcast. We are going to be talking about morning fuel and pre-game nutrition. It is event day. We want to boost those energies. It is the ultimate moment for athletes. It's all about training and hard work and mental strength. But don't forget that nutrition. What you eat and drink, especially the morning of and before the event, is key to top performance. In this series, we're going to share essential tips for morning fuel and pre-event meals to help you shine when it counts. It is competition day and you want to kick it off strong. Hydration and energy are key. Most athletes benefit from a morning routine focusing on fluids and electrolytes. So let's solve the puzzle here. How much fluid in the morning should you be aiming for? You want to start off the morning with 16 to 32 ounces of fluid. Why is that? Because we sweat while we sleep. We lose an average of 2 to 3 pounds at that moment. Now, if you remember, if you're 1% dehydrated, performance can decline up to 15%. So we need to replenish what we lost so we can boost our muscle and brain efficiency for optimal speed, power, focus, and endurance. Now, how much sodium do we need in the morning? We need a minimum of 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium in the morning for a healthy athlete. Why? Because fluid alone cannot help us be hydrated. We need the sodium to take the water out of the bloodstream and into the muscle cell. That's how we achieve optimal hydration. We got our pre-event competition meal. What is that? We want to aim for about 3 to 4 hours prior for proper digestion and getting those energy into those muscles. But sometimes it might be 2 to 3 hours, depending on the time of the event. How much fuel do you think you should be averaging for this morning meal? The average healthy athlete should be eating 700 to 1,000 fuel units in the morning. What is a fuel unit? Well, food is a calorie, calorie is heat, and heat is energy, and energy is fuel. So we want to be aiming for 700 to 1,000 fuel units in the morning. If you have a very young athlete, you could just cut that in half and possibly do 4 to 700 units of fuel. Now, these guidelines are flexible, and it definitely depends on you, your age, your body type, and your personal needs. When it comes to our macros, which means carbs, fats, and proteins, how much carbs, percentage-wise, do you think you should be averaging for this morning meal? You should be averaging 35 to 45% carbohydrates within this morning meal for just general morning breakfast or for a pre-competition. So how much protein do we need for a morning breakfast or pre-competition? For a morning breakfast or a pre-event meal, we are trying to aim for 15 to 25% protein. When it comes to healthy fats, how much healthy fat should we be aiming for our morning breakfast or pre-competition? We should be aiming anywhere between 30 to 45% healthy fat for this mealtime for the majority of healthy athletes. Some of you might be questioning the percentages I gave you because that's not standard protocol out there. Well, I use testing. I use science to guide with my athletes. We maximize every day. So when we go to bed, we're trying to be close to 80 to 90% fueled when it comes to competition. We are also trying to be hydrated when we go to bed. So when we wake up, all we have to do is top off our fuel. So our percentages are going to fit the needs of my athletes, and they're also going to fit the need of the science that I see. Most people, because they don't have a registered dietitian or R or a D after their name, they're not doing testing. They're not looking at how it's working for you and being able to regurgitate information out to educate you on your athlete because they can't. They don't know. So be cautious because you want the best for yourself. So again, we want 45% carbs in the morning. We want 15 to 25% lean proteins in the morning. We want 30 to 45% healthy fats, 10% or less saturated fat, and some fiber for most healthy individuals. For a morning or pre-event breakfast, we are looking for 16 to 32 ounces of water or fluids in the morning, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium through food, salt, or product, 3 to 4 servings of protein, which is equivalent to 3 to 4 ounces or 21 to 28 grams of very lean protein in the morning. That also wants to be less than 10% of that from saturated fats. We want 4 to 5 servings of breads, grains, or starchy vegetables. That's roughly 60 to 75 grams of carbohydrates. We want 0 to 3 servings of non-starchy veggies a day. That is equivalent to a spinach, a broccoli, and it's half cup cook or 1 cup raw. Then 0 to 2 servings of dairy. That's variant upon your dairy source. 2 to 4 servings of fruit. That's 1 to 2 cups. And then we got 3 to 4 servings of healthy fat. This is equal to 700 to 1,000 units of fuel a day for that meal. 35 to 45% carbs, 15 to 25% protein, and 30 to 45% healthy fat. Here's an example of a pre-morning breakfast or pre-event meal. 16 to 32 ounces of fluid. We chose water. 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium. That's going to actually be from salting our food. And then we did 3 to 4 eggs, 1 large tortilla and 1/3 cup of rice, 1 cup of spinach, 1 ounce of cheese, 2 large bananas, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil, which not in the cooking part, but actually once it's made within the food, you mix it and put it in the tortilla. We also be cautious if you just feel like it's too much. You could take the bananas and have those maybe 1 hour before or 2 hours before. And that's how you can spread that out within that 3 to 4 hours before that event, and it will still work well. I have another option for you, especially if you struggle or have a sensitive stomach. We chose to go with the Chobani drinkable yogurt, 4 rice cakes, 4 tablespoons of peanut butter, and then our fluid is from water, and then we used Element for our salt suggestion. If you struggle, guess what? You don't have to eat it all at one time. 4 hours prior, do the Chobani drinkable yogurt. 3 hours prior, do 2 rice cakes with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter and 8 ounces of the Bolt House or Naked Smoothie. Then repeat that 2 hours before, and this would still work very well for this athlete in that situation, but get plenty of fuel and hydration and electrolytes to maximize their overall goals and dreams. Our key takeaways for our nutrition for breakfast and for pre-event meals for the morning are: event day nutrition demands thoughtful preparation and careful timing for athletes. Starting with the right hydration in the morning establishes a solid foundation. A well-planned pre-event meal that emphasizes a balance of lean proteins, complex carbs, and healthy fats, plus some non-starchy veggies and whole fruits, provides that needed fuel to maximize your performance. As part of my performance playbook, keep in mind that every athlete needs are different. Experimenting with food choices, meal timing, and hydration levels are essential for identifying what works best for you and your athlete. Look forward to part 2 of our series, where we will explore in-event nutrition strategies to maintain your energy throughout the competition. For even more ideas inside my academy, I have some Dawn Weatherwax approved breakfast options and also in my Food for Speed blog. Have a great and healthy competition.